Yeah, I like the meter up there. That works.
Meter where?
Right, the way
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So I was gonna say.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna do remote section, and I was looking through the comments. Basically, with a new service we offer, where I'm just gonna. Should I look at you right there in the camera, or should I look at you there?
Oh, whatever's comfy. Doesn't matter. I'm really practicing not getting all weird like I normally do on the camera.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, in the past, like we made a video and started like offering new service where we do remote scans for people, like on the physical body, and like also looking what causes it. And I was like looking into the comments today on like what to pick, like what kind of item to pick, so that we would address today. And the target I want to like focus on today is the energy drain. Like a lot of people mentioned that like they feel drained, that they're like, like tired, exhausted, and like out of nowhere, just like boom, it's gone. So like energy drains is what I want to focus on today.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to explain how the meter works just a little bit, or?
Oh, we're recording already?
Yeah, we're recording.
Hi, everybody. I didn't know we were already.
Yeah, I'm just talking to myself on camera.
I thought you were practicing like I do.
No.
Okay. Yeah, energy drain. What we're going to do is a remote scan. We're going to focus in on the subject. You know, Akvila's going to be doing what she does. I'm going to be guiding her with this meter up here. And when the meter goes that way, like in the direction of whatever, goes to right, then that means kind of a yes, or we're like, hey, we're getting close. And if it goes the other way, that means she's in search mode and she's looking. So just generally, that's how we use the meter. And while she has her eyes closed, I might be saying that. As we look into what is causing energy drain, and this is like a common thing for most of humanity. So we are going to look at it, her issues, my issues, your issues, humanity's issues. But Agvila noticed that some time ago that you were picking off items and issues that affected all of humanity, and some of our viewers were getting gains.
Yeah.
Even though we weren't directing their specific stuff. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, like we did this stream where we were addressing your headache, and literally like 5 more people who were watching the stream say like, "Hey, I don't have a headache anymore." Yeah. Just like that. So like, it's amazing, and like I would just want to see if this kind of work actually affects more people if they see changes or not. So
okay.
Yeah. So do you notice like that ever you have this energy drain, like you feel tired, exhausted, like you just I don't know, like try a day and the energy just disappears, or you wake up with no energy?
Well, let me take a look here how that works. Let's see. I got to tune in a little bit here.
Okay.
Because I'm not actually feeling it today.
It's okay. I'm just talking, but yeah.
Yeah, but I can find it here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I got a little bit tuned into it. Did you want to ask questions about it, or?
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you have an energy drain? Like you just like tired, exhausted? Do you ever feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. That was it.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, did you want to share what you found?
Yeah, I'm not feeling energy drain right now, but I'm like when I search for and then I could feel that energy. There's an energy phenomenon like up here, up about 4 or 5 feet. It's kind of an energy cloud. It seems like it might be entity sort of related, but that will kind of move in onto me, and then I'll start feeling the energy drain from that. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, like for me, let's say like I was looking through like things to address. Like there's a lot of people saying like we're talking about their issues and what they was like what they would like us to look into. So energy drain is like one of the things, and like it's funny because like the moment I started like focusing on it, I started like feeling it, like sort of like connecting to that issue, but at the same time sort of like feeling more tired. Like okay, this is a good one, I guess.
Yeah.
So the usual way, like most people know, but I'm just gonna close my eyes, kind of like getting out of body, shifting consciousness, and then can start locating what causes it, and just kind of like explore, see like what causes the whole energy drain, and see what we can do to deal with it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it too. It's starting to creep in more and more. So, you know, what you put your attention on, you get, you know, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm getting like quite a lot of these, like, I don't know, like glimpses or flashes or images right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is like as if everyone on Earth was connected with a cord, and it's like constantly draining your energy, like sucking it out. Like, you know, like just imagine being connected to some sort of tube, and it's constantly feeding off you. Like there's like specific time where it turns on, and then just sort of like starts like sucking it out of you and feeding off. So like that's like the one of the very first thing that popped up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I'll keep looking.
Okay, continue. Mm-hmm.
The other thing that sort of like pops out is seems like I'm scanning other places, you know, like Milky Way, Andromeda, other galaxies, different realms and stuff, and I'm not feeling the same thing. Like it's just more like around Earth, as if this place was some sort of like construct that when you cross a certain line and you get into the inner sphere, it's kind of like every one of us is like a battery that's fueling up system and everything else, and we're empowering them without knowing it, or like they're just sort of training us. Like,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I get this idea, you know, the Tesla energy ball.
Mhm.
It's a big energy ball, and then all these lightning bolts or lightning flashes go to the ball. This is like the inverse or the opposite. The sphere is around the Earth, and all the lightning flashes are going to all the people on Earth,
Yeah.
and it's going, but it's being sucked
Pretty much
out of all the people. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm focusing on myself, because like once I started looking through the issues and thought like, okay, energy drain is the one I want to focus on, I started feeling it myself. And like as I'm focusing on it, and specifically like what caused it for me, I'm seeing like there's a lot of other groups, and specifically one of the main things they're doing is constantly trying to shift our attention. It's kind of like having procrastination, being distracted, having tons of different interests, and then you want to do something, and then you sort of start doing it, and then boom, you like start doing something else, and constantly you have a goal but you never get there. And it's like after like a few of those, and like keeps like exhausted, because like failed purpose, failed goal, or whatever, but it just sort of builds up. And like I'm seeing like there's a lot of groups who try to focus on our attention, like what we look at, like what we're dealing with and all this stuff. So they see what we focus on, and then keeps distracting us so that we would not reach our goal. But like our attention is all over the place, but never focused on something that would like actually help us or be too meaningful and all this stuff. So there's that. And at the same time, it's kind of like, again, like connection, like entities, but like it's very interesting, because like the moment I focused on it, I felt this massive shift. Like it just lifted from me, like, you know, like they're here messing with me, but the moment like I'm like, hey, and you're like, oh shit, like they just like take off, like, so like it's pretty interesting, like they just like avoid that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I can relate to that
Yeah.
too. Same sort of things happen
So
goes on with me.
as a comment like of what I'm seeing, do you want to share more about your like yourself, like what you're noticing and all this?
Yeah, well, I'm noticing that the energy drain that I'm seeing, it's like there's one like tube or channel hooked into my head. And it's kind of like an amoeba looking thing, and not a round glob, but one with like, it kind of goes out this way and a little arm like an octopus arm, or anything like this. But it's like maybe 4 or 5 little arms and kind of a floaty. It's kind of a biological but non-physical
Mm-hmm.
uh, phenomenon, and sucking it, just hanging out. It's like everybody's got some of these sort of things.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. As I'm scanning these, it's like one is keeping notes of what we find so that like to see what's of the most importance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess the rest is just like keep looking until I find like this good place, like yeah, like that's the thing, you know.
Yeah, I think you're on it. What you were spotting, and just keep looking in that area. Definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I want to explore this concept a bit more, but it seems like very interesting. Like imagine like we have Earth right now, right? And it's just kind of like, let's say Earth is a realm, and it's just like one line, but then there's tons of different realms, for example, like for reptilians, for ghosts, for entities, and all this stuff. And it's kind of like a line, but
Mm-hmm.
put all of these lines in one place, like overlapping, overlaying each other, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like these multidimensional beings can be on our plane with us all the time. Like they're living in their world, but they can also walk among us because they can sort
Mm-hmm.
of like get in our lane. And at the same time, uh, they sort of like come as an overlay of our body. Like they're walking around their place, but they can tune into here, and then they come in and sort of like merge with us. Like they're not necessarily within us, but in their own dimension, connecting to ours. It's kind of like being there and here, and sort of like overlapping with our own, like with our body. So
Mm-hmm.
wherever we walk, we carry them. We carry them with us, and they get to experience the whole world, but at the same time connecting to us, and we're connecting to them, and kind of like if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you've heard of the real-time double universe. Robert Bruce talks about this. It's like one of those, not necessarily what the specific one that he was talking about, but there's like a real-time double universe that's a simulation or it's artificial, but it tracks everybody on the planet, and it's doing what we're doing here, our double is doing there.
Yeah.
It's like superimposed, and it's not really ours. It's not my double. It's a construct that these beings use, and then in their plane, they can just walk into that and use that as a vehicle or a channel or a portal into manipulating or messing with us and sucking our energy and controlling us, putting thoughts in our heads and emotions and stuff. That's the sense of it I'm
Pretty
getting.
much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time.
I feel this pushback, like I'm starting to explore and see stuff, and like this, like specifically looking into who's doing it, like what's involved in all that, and it's kind of like this wave of energy just comes over and pushes my attention somewhere else, like just like um doesn't want me to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Good. Continue. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Big time. Yeah.
Okay, so there's like a lot going on. As I was like focusing on this like energy drain and what caused it, and sort of like looking like what's shifting my focus. I had this like initially like it's been a like very long time. I think like it's like half a year or so. But remember that the reptilian body we found in Crystal Place?
Yeah.
I thought like, hey, what if I just call him and have like someone to help me look for stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Just like that, he just walked in and it really missed me. Like a puppy started sniffing me and like remembering me and like really all excited, just like a like it's fun. Like it's really fun. And I was like sort of like I asked him like sort of like hey, what do you think is causing this drainage for people? And it's showing like one thing like uh there's there's a lot going on, but like the thing he showed me is like people have this inability to let go of things. For example, like they might work on removing entities, they might have someone else work for them, like maybe I do a session on them and all this stuff. And so like we talk to certain parties, maybe we're being diplomatic and we're saying like, okay, look, we don't want to fight, we don't want to destroy you, just like I want to help you wake up, I want you to leave, I want you to be free and stop messing with me because that's not what you need to do. And so like there's a lot of people who will try to help others, like entities specifically and all this stuff, to sort of like instead of killing and destroying, basically just like trying to help them out. And a lot of people that are doing the sort of like, let's say, work with removing entities or like their issues, um they have this like like kind of like this addiction to their like they're used to certain feeling state. Like some people have lived for months or years being grumpy, being mad, being into pushing and like destroying things and all this stuff, and they stop doing that and something's missing and they come back to the same old activity. So basically what I want to say is that a lot of people who do this sort of work where they're helping themselves, for example, they remove entities from their space or they get help from someone else, it's kind of like some people are like the problem is gone and all of a sudden like they're not used to being free, they're not used to being better, and they call back the problem to their usual feeling state, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like they're kind of it's a habit, and they're like it's their comfort zone, not necessarily comfortable, but they feel better having a worry or a concern than having an empty space in their space. Kind of.
yeah, it's like people, let's say, you can have a group of reptilians that are messing with you, a group of like, I don't know, like a canine mantis or someone else, and let's say you make a deal like, okay, from now on we're not gonna mess with you, and like that's cool. And then they're off doing their own business because like you set them free, like maybe you had some deal like mutual agreements and stuff, like, but like the end result is like after the whole communication or whatever, the you stay okay, like they stop messing with you and they have their own business and they leave you alone, or like they just move out to some other place. And that's what happens. But then people living their life, they're like, no, all the shit that happens to me, it must be them. And so like the problem is gone, but they start pointing fingers at that and makes it come back.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's kind of like I'm not saying like it's everyone's fault or like this is all like everything like it's only that focus, but like the image I'm getting, or like it's kind of people don't know how to live, or like start living where like, hey, I can be the new self right now. I can stop looking at the past problems or how I was. From now on, this moment, the problem is gone and I am being new me. And instead of that, they're like new me. No. Like I'm used to being fucked up. Like they just sort of don't give themselves the power, but it's kind of like calling back the problem, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Makes me think of people with an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
They'll either attract another man, another abusive man, or another abusive woman. After that one's over, they end up with it, and they get rid of that, and then it happens again and again, and they keep. They want someone to love them, and they gravitate toward this, or they pull this kind of person back into their life. So this is like a psychic or spiritual abusive relationship in that way. It's just what it made me think of.
Yeah, it's that, and at the same time, another thing I'm seeing is kind of like, let's say some people deal with entities and they get out of their space and now the person is free, but they're not used to the new feeling state, and if anything happens around them, they feel that anything that happens is still the same group that was messing with them. It's just their fault.
I
but
see.
That group is gone already, but now the other party is like, perfect, they will not detect us because they think of someone else. And so the whole holographic images and pushing, they're like, no, it's yeah, you're right, it's specifically them, and they're like just fucking with you because the whole thing is like, like you're just not seeing it. You see what you want to see, and you're not looking deeper. Kind of like, So there's like a lot to it.
It's a typical strategy of the dark side. It's called misassignment of ownership. It's like pointing their finger at the wrong person. You can't ever solve the problem if you think that's the guy that's sabotaging your company month after month after month, or his group, and you keep doing things and it keeps happening. Well, the group that's really doing it loves that you think that person or that group is doing it, whatever it is. And it's a strategy. It's used, and it happens a lot. Misassignment of ownership of thoughts and feelings and conditions and issues.
Yeah. So there's a few things I can focus on, or like, let's say some of the groups that will specifically be into mind control. Let's say if humans choose to blame the party that's already left, it's an advantage for them because they're invisible and they can keep messing with people. So I can address or like focus on groups that are doing that specifically and sort of like try to get rid of them. And another thing with humans, I can't change them. Like, it's their own choice, it's their own belief system. It's up for them. But like, sort of like, you just share this message, like, hey, that might be a thing. So yeah, I'll deal with our groups, and then we can sort of look for other things that's causing this whole energy drain. Yeah.
Big time.
So like right now I have an ongoing communication. Like I was like trying to track the whole hierarchy of who's causing some of these issues, who's using it. But I'm sort of like getting this sense that most of these groups that attack others in a way where, how do you say it? When this bad guy, or like for us, like in our visuals, or like the way we perceive it, this bad guy that is using it to their advantage, where the people are blaming someone else and not them. Specifically this group, I'm looking who's above them, and through the whole hierarchy I'm seeing this is kind of like Reptilian Queen, called the Black Widow, specifically Black Widow because she's kind of like 23 feet tall and freaking giant, and she's all black, so that's what I'm getting so far. So like right now, like I have an ongoing communication with her to see like what the hell is up, and I'll see if there's anyone else in there. Anything else you want to say?
Just audience curiosity. Are you seeing these visuals pretty clearly?
Yeah, there.
It's like really there, huh? Okay, continue. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
I like how this being. Like they're freaking smart, you know, like it's just like their main goal is like mind control. So it's just like I'm looking at her like that, like hi, you know, like having
Mhm.
conversations, like freaking tall and all. But it's kind of like they get within and they see everything. Like they know my history here on Earth, what I'm into, and all this stuff. And like as I'm asking, like, hey, what's your goal? Like, why are you doing this? And she shows everything in concepts that I would understand. It's kind of like the, like what she shows is kind of like, or like why like they're conquering like the galaxy, and like basically just imagine playing a video game and kind of like strategic game where like okay you just built your center here and now this is going to be your town,
Mhm.
which like they have of like little like vicinity of like Milky Way and all this stuff, and this is their stuff,
Mhm.
and the other beings have their place over like let's say in Andromeda and some other place, like this kind of like like little like territories like where they have more control. And for them Earth, or like let's say like oh yeah like humans are like cattle, like you know, like the way humans gather up sheeps and like hey let's like this is how like our food wool and all stuff resources we can sell it off. For them it's the same thing, like they don't see us as like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
anything big. It's kind of like yeah it's just like another resource. It's like
Mhm.
why not you know like sell it
Yeah,
off
it's
or
like
whatever.
humans discovering a planet full of wild cattle, buffalo and cattle. And hey, if we dominated and controlled this planet, we would have all this product to sell to everybody that wants food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much the same way. So you know like they're not necessarily harvesting us, and it's not them doing absolutely everything, but they have their own tools of how they're working, and I'm seeing specifically of manipulating the perception. Like humans are pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Humans are stupid, so like for them it's like it's too easy because it's like kind of like feeling I'm so freaking smart because I know more than a chicken does. It's like you're comparing yourself with someone who has a whole different perception of reality and all this stuff. So for them, like conquering us or let's say using us, it's just like man, just like some people eat chicken and they don't give a damn, you know. So like for them, it's like yeah, whatever, just a resource. So
Mhm.
it's like I'm getting like that's thing, and like I'll look more, but
Mhm.
just saying.
Mhm. That.
Okay, it's funny. Like as I'm like communicating with them, specifically with this reptilian queen, it's like people here on Earth have currency, like we're using money to sell off and trade and all this stuff, and they like specifically this like Black Widow's clan is like what they offer, what kind of service they offer is safety.
Mhm.
Like a lot of other groups with reptilians and there are like other ETs and humans like other who are playing the bigger game are safe because this group can use our perception. And like while humans are like that one is the only enemy, and we don't see like we're focused on black and white and we're not seeing all the other things happening all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like same for them, like yeah humans are stupid, so just like you know like yeah focus on that, and you know like so like a lot of other groups can do their own thing and like mess with us and like have their own agendas happening. So like what I'm saying is like this reptilian group is more in control of our attention and focus rather than controlling the whole earth or whatever, while tons of other parties are involved and basically they are trading off with different currencies, but like this party is selling off safety to them because we're not going to focus on them and we're going to focus on small things or like problems that are all disappeared and we're going to keep calling them back, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. It's kind of like a metaphor that uh, uh, like I'm a safety broker. I can make you safe when you go do whatever you do in your activities in the
Yeah.
multiverse. That's what I do. And here's how I do it. If you go to this planet here, I will make you invisible to them.
Yeah.
And technically the way I'll do it, I'll distract them and I'll do other things, but you can go in and do whatever you want to them. They will never see you. You're invisible to them. They won't be aware of you. They won't attack you. They won't nothing because they won't know you're there. Kind of like that.
That's exactly the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what they're selling. This kind of like safety, you know, to other beings, and if they come, like tons of other races can do their own thing here. This is their business. But specifically this party, like I'm seeing, is like they're the ones shifting our focus constantly somewhere else. Or let's say if we are blaming some party, they'll make sure like good, like like blame that, like they literally can get in our head and see what happened in the past, like what kind of party was messing with us, what they did, so they can mimic all of that and make you think it's like specifically that party because it's all of their signs. This is the narcissist, this is the specific person, and all this stuff. So like our attention, like I knew it's happened to me before, and your attention like focuses on the past and it's already gone, but they just mimic the past shit so that you would be off the track while they continue doing their own stuff.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, so like after all the conversations, so like getting the whole, I don't know, like a story of understanding the whole thing, I guess. Like I'm just like, the main thing is like people are going in circles. Like we're constantly tired and drained all the stuff, or like at least from this perspective of like, okay, this party and that's what they're doing, and like we're feeling this way because, and specifically because like we're like most people are chasing something that is already gone, but we're trying to bring it back, and like it's like we're fighting the enemy that's not even there. And like it's kind of like trying to push against the wall, and the wall's ain't moving, trying to blow against the wind, and the wind is like still blowing, like if that makes sense. So like drained because like we're constantly moving in circles, not reaching the end result, and not seeing like more than just black and white. So there's that. So do you have anything else you want to add or say or focus on? Because like I can like work a bit on perception and like maybe have this party move away or like get rid of them so that they wouldn't play with our perception. But like it's like that is like for us, like yeah, like look deeper, look behind the holograms and all the stuff, or like what they want you to see. But most people are like, I don't know, like what I want to say. It's just kind of like, I don't think this will fix humanity because like people are like pretty dumb.
Well, what this brings to mind is the phenomena of having a purpose in life and you fail at it. So you there's something out there that you want, and like for humanity, they're trying to fix that problem or those problems that make them unhappy or unable in love or money or health or something. But they have this, this drive, desire to fix that.
Yeah.
And if they win at that, they feel fulfilled and they have more energy. Their life energy is back with them, and so they have energy. But if they fail to resolve that issue, then that energy they put into it is already spent. Now they're going to try to pull up more energy, more determination, and more, and they keep pouring their energy into solving the problem. And that will keep draining them, and they will actually be willingly giving up their energy. It's like you're willingly pushing the big boulder up the hill because you think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So we willingly put our energy into solving our problems. The idea being that when it's solved, all this energy and the reward will come back to us, and we'll feel energized. And yes, we won. But what they do is the solution, like you got to win. Hey, you solved it, but it didn't stay solved. So you got the win and you got the energy way back when.
Yeah.
But now here it is. Some time goes by and the problem is back, and so you start pouring more energy into solving that same problem again. But it's not really. It's not really what's really the problem. These other beings are back here and they're sucking your energy in a different way, but you still think it's just one problem or issue. So you keep trying to pour more energy out to solve this problem, and it won't solve because you're focused in the wrong direction on what the real issue or problem is. That's what came to mind.
Pretty much. So I can talk to this party and see what I can do regarding the whole control of perception, and then focus on the ones that are actually doing the whole energy drainage. Because like they're just like they're protecting, or like let's say making the real enemy invisible, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Would it be you need to ask or want to ask permission? Hey, you mind if we like mess with your shit for a little bit? We want to look at some of these real guys that you are, you're in service of keeping safe, but we want to take a look and we want to take some of those. This is getting obnoxious for humanity.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically, we're coming back to where we started with when I saw like the whole Earth is kind of like there's like tons of cores connected and some being is sucking it out. I was finally getting some really good access to seeing like the clear picture and no pushback or anything. And it's kind of like if the realm like an Earth, or like let's say everything's like every single person and all of the life forms, actually, like not just like humans but animals and even plants and all this stuff, like our energy is constantly drained, and there's like this realm between space and time. Like literally you can fly and it's invisible, it's not there, but if you tune in right to the right channel, it's there, if that makes sense. Let's go like you can't see it normally, but if you turn into the right channel, like you can access it. And so there's this massive being. It's a weird, I guess, like it's a bit of a, I don't know, slug. The best descriptions would be Starship Troopers. Remember this slug, kind of like wormish, big guy at the end?
Yeah.
That, and then there was Star Wars, where this big fat guy laying there selling off
Jabba the Hutt.
I guess that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like kind of makes them together, make it freaking massive like a mountain. And
Mhm.
like he's sucking everyone's energy, but then he connects to people knowing what's up. And that energy, let's say when we're getting tired, when we're getting pissed off, when like sort of like sucking out illusion, all this stuff,
Mhm.
that being sucks it all up. And then it's kind of like has these like open, it's like, I don't know, think of a flower or like the sports where like it just like like from his back there's tons of holes, but actually like little tunnels, tubes that go like that spread out, but tons
Mhm.
of these. And it's just kind of like the factory for entities, like literally like this being sucks out tons of negative energy.
He sucks out.
Yeah, like it sucks out from humanity.
Yeah, negative energy.
Yeah, like so like let's say like taking off the loosh, but
Mhm.
every time a person gets mad and angry, that is being taken, and then they create entities of that essence with
Ooh.
mad and angry.
Yeah.
And it's like this never-ending cycle. Well, he's gonna suck up all the shit and then flood all the entities back to humanity, and we'll be basically like never-ending flow of these like
Oh,
shit.
look at the energy, the tiredness hitting me in waves.
Yeah, oh my god. Oops.
No, that's okay. That's how it works when you run this stuff out. People, if people get really tired listening to this, it's you know you're triggering it, stirring it up, so you got to stir it up to release it. You know,
Yeah.
like that. Wow.
So I'm gonna focus on this being and get rid of him and the whole realm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, the gross part so far. Let me. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. No, you go right ahead. We'll talk later. Mhm.
Okay, so basically I was focusing on this being and sort of like destroying it, as well as like all the entities created by this being. It's kind of like this massive cloud, like trillions or quadrillions of entities, just like never ending. It's like we breathe and there's air like in this invisible, but there's tons of it. It's like filled up, like very thick and dense. It's kind of like that, tons of entities. So like cleared them all out, and all the energy that was ever taken from people and animals and all the stuff, I was sort of like transmuting it, filtering it out so like all the negative stuff can go away, but make it better and make it come back, so fill out people and all this stuff. So we'll see if that helps. But yeah,
Okay.
that's the thing, I guess.
Wow. Yeah. Mm. The part I was looking at was the part where our energy, our emotional energy. I've often looked at the phenomena or the theory that our negative energy feelings are actually entities and entity clusters.
Yeah.
As a theory, is this it? Yes, no, what? So we feel this energy. The consciousness that we are is not an entity or a being itself. It is the creator of all this stuff. But we assume a point of view and a consideration, attitude, and this is the me, this is who I am and what I am. But it's all made out of consciousness. And our personality is bits of conscious awareness that was once being something. In other words, our emotions are now bits and pieces of sentient awareness. And as we express that, out it goes. But now this slug looking thing is sucking this up and then reusing it to cause more stress and distress for humanity.
Yeah.
And a cycle like that. And it's like, wow, that's some deep stuff. So it has to do, I think, in the big picture for me, to process what you're looking at, is that I need to take more responsibility for the creator, what's being created, how am I responsible for it, and what can I do about it to create better universes, multiverse, emotions, conditions, situations, and all that.
Pretty much. I mean, like the take from this I'm getting is like sort of like trying to look deeper. Like most people see everything as black and white. Like they're being messed with and they're looking for one being or one party that's gonna mess with them. And when they deal with it, they think like it's all gone. But when the similar symptoms or same symptoms come back, they're pointing fingers at the same party they already got rid of or like dealt with. Mm-hmm. So like they're not seeing the real enemy because they're focusing on the past and sort of constantly living in the stuff that happened instead of like looking at something new is a thing. So like for me, like it's good to know, like a constant like check what you believe in, check what you experience, and try to look for something new instead of same old stuff. And at the same time, like being in control of yourself, you control all of these emotions, how you feel, how you react to things. So it's a thing. But yeah, like I felt like this major difference for myself, at least, where the place where I started the session, I was like kind of like exhausted and all this stuff, and then I think like just the moment I spotted this whole party like blending in, I was like that moved away. But then like interesting conversations with the Reptilian Queen and like seeing everything, I was like, damn, like it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I'm feeling more energized. But what about you?
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It's very advanced as far as I'm concerned. It's very deep. The phenomena that is going on in the multiverse, how it's affecting the beings that are being human on this planet. It's just deep as can be. It's just, there's just level after level of it. And I think as long as a person is learning and growing and winning, getting some understanding of what's going on, ultimately the truth will set you free. But it's just layers and layers of the game.
Yeah.
And if you step out far enough from it, that's just a game. Oh, that's just a game. Oh, that's just a game. You see that in spirit and consciousness, we're just playing games. We're creating games, life games, the game of life for our own amusement, entertainment, and engagement.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that would be the wrap for one of the reasons that is causing the energy drainage.
Yeah, one. There are others.
Yeah, there's plenty of others. And another thing is like we're living for trillions of years. There's a lot of experiences, a lot of things that can build up and all this stuff. But this is good. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. Yeah.
So this can actually, it's like layers. Roll next layer of what can make a person feeling energy drained, and next thing, and then I think each individual, if we were to do a series on this just energy drain, I don't know if we're doing that, but if we each individual that's watching this series, probably a good idea to stop when they got their release and felt, that worked for me, I'm done. Don't be watching more of this stuff on the same level, because it can trigger the next layers of stuff that isn't, if it's not triggered, you don't need to address it, whatever it might be in your life.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That being said, I guess it'll be interesting to hear people, like, let's say, what do you think about this whole concept? And as you watch, do you feel in a few days or the upcoming time any changes in your whole energy? Like, notice how you feel with your energy. Do you feel like more empowered? Do you feel more, I don't know, like inspired, hypered up and all this stuff, or actually tired and all this stuff? So
Yeah.
we'll see if this changes anything.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks for doing this.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay then.
Talk to you later.
Bye.